Hey guys, Menagerie comps have taken over as one of the best directions that you can play after the 30.6. A lot of this has become as a result of the Nala portrait. I want to show another Menagerie comp that's very strong, and that's focused around Aggem Thorn Curse. Aggem's a minion that they added back and then also did a modification to it. So it's a tier 6 minion. After a blood gem is played on this, play a blood gem on a different friendly minion of each tribe. The best way to play a gem is to have one gem generating Quilboar, and then the rest of your comp is going to be tech units. So you have 7 minions that you can play, you have 2 Quilboars, you'd have 4 other utility type units. You can think something like mechs with divine shields, cleaves, minions that have summons to be anti-tech, or something like Bramble Witch. You'll want also to have at least one flex spot that you can play something like Leroy, Battlecries, or whatever is going to be some type of extra value every turn. Some strategies to think about while playing this comp. First, a gem alone won't win you the game. It won't even put you into a winning position. Most important with this is you need blood gems that have been buffed already, because you're playing blood gems on your other units. You can kind of think of this as the equivalent of playing Smuggler and Murkeye all in one minion. Generally, you're going to want something like 5 to 10 attack, and then as much health as possible on your blood gems. Additionally, the Quilboar trinkets are very strong at both buffing the blood gems and giving Quilboars some extra utility, whether that be summoning new units, or blood gem generation, or playing more blood gems. But I'll talk about trinkets a little bit later. Secondly, if you're playing this comp, you should already have some gem generation set up, but neither the scaling or the generation needs to be complete or even golden, but you need to have them both in place before forcing this comp. If you don't, then you're not enabled to play this comp. Finally, something to think about is the gem transfer spell is extremely good in this comp. With this, you can buff minions just for the stats and then transfer the stats to a better utility unit once you find it. You can then just sell the unit for a gold. What's really good is just holding on to the gem transfers until you find the ideal unit. Don't just, sell the unit because you can, because then you're just going to require another one of the spells, and it's kind of unlikely to just randomly roll into them. So now let's think about some of the lesser and greater trinkets. First, starting with the lesser. Greatboard Sticker gives attack to your blood gems, and you can arguably skip the attack buffing with this. It's probably a little bit under what you would want for attack, but it essentially gets the job done without having to invest any minions or gold into it. Or, gold later for minions for it. Calligraphy set, also, you want to play at least one summon unit to get an extra proc off of the scaling every turn. And then a unit that you should think about, something like Mecha Horse or any of the other general just summon a lot of units, can be your potential filler spot in the Aggem comp, because they kind of fit a purpose as general anti-tech, and just they do a good job with that, and they're a tribe minion. The last one to think about, that's kind of a bait if you're doing this comp, is something like Hoggy Bank. Hoggy Bank gives you a blood gem for as a death rattle on all of your Quilboars. When you're playing this comp optimally, you're only going to have 2 Quilboars, and you might have a couple of the amalgam type minions that get Quilboar that way, but it's kind of unlikely just because they don't really provide the best utility with them. Some of the greater portraits that you should start thinking about. So, Conductor Portrait is actually really good in this comp. If Nagas are in, you can use Nagas as the cycle spot in your shop and potentially play one of the spellcraft generators. The Siren's going to be the best for this. And what you should do is just play whatever Divine Shield spellcrafts you have on your minions as utility, and then use the others as an extra, essentially a double Smuggler effect with this way. The other one you can think about is Surveyor Portrait. So this gives you 3 blood gems and then doubles the procs of them. So you're essentially getting 6 blood gems every turn, and that can kind of be good enough for your blood gem generation. Another thing you should be thinking about is blood gem sticker. Because you'll always be doing just 2 Quilboars in this comp, you'll always get the 2 biggest golems, and that's a really good value to get out of your blood gems. Just having a little bit of extra units, it gives you a little bit better chances in terms of scam and playing around other opponents that don't necessarily care about the stats, because you have a death rattle more stats. Great's board sticker is going to be falling into one of the lackluster Quilboar trinkets with this comp. 2/2 is unlikely to be significant. The biggest issue with this is because of the comp you're running, you're not going to have the best gem generation. You're probably going to be getting somewhere between 6, maybe 8 blood gems based on the cycle spots in the shop. So 2/2 really isn't enough buffs for you to invest into it as a greater trinket. Jar of Gems is another, don't take this if you're playing in a gem con, because Tough Tusk will not be your Quilboar of choice because it's not gem generation. Calligraphy Tut is another one where you can kind of only take it if you already have good utility minions and you already have your gem generation. It will just give you some extra stats. And then kind of some of the non-Quilboar trinkets to think about. Glow Scale Portrait is pretty good, as it's going to be a way that you can put Divine Shields on all of your minions, and then you can potentially sell it and make that your like shop spot, or just cycle it another way. And then Lone Walker Squirrel as a greater trinket to think about. Don't take it, because that 5/5 buff does not apply to the gems played by the Aggem. And then the other trinket to think about with this Devourer sticker, you should only take it if you already have the gem generation and the gem scaling, but this essentially gives you the equivalent of a gem transfer every turn, because you can move those stats over. And then finally, just kind of comparing this with the other Nala comps in general, I think Nala probably scales better than this comp and has a little bit more flexibility with what you're playing, because you're kind of settled into just the Nalas in that comp. But Nala's been kind of the main Menagerie comp, and I just want to point out that you really shouldn't be playing these together. Nala plus a gem, you're losing one of the buff spots, and that's kind of like 20% less scaling for your comp. So yeah, really that's all I got. Hopefully this gives you an idea of how to play this new comp that's kind of just in because of a gem, and is really only good because they reworked a gem to be playing blood gems rather than static buffs. Having blood gems that can essentially have infinite scaling will give you potentially infinite buffs. So good luck out there, good luck on your climbs, see you out there, bye.